Pretty thighs, shawty, she a dime. Demon girl, evil eyes, she be telling lies. Slim waist.
So can you explain what like golden rice is?
Sure. So rice is a staple food for a lot of people around the world, in Asia, China, India, and so on, and also in southern parts of Africa. Rice is important.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things about rice is that it doesn't really have a lot of nutrition. And in particular, one thing that it's missing is beta carotene, which is the precursor of vitamin A. And an awful lot of children in the developing world are vitamin A deficient. They just don't get enough vitamin A. And for you and I, we live in the West, we eat carrots. There are plenty of foods that are available that provide beta carotene. Beta carotene is the sort of orange pigment that is in carrots, for instance. But we also have access to vitamin pills. If you need a vitamin, you take vitamin.
Mm-hmm.
In Africa and Asia and elsewhere, one of the staple foods is rice, and it doesn't produce beta carotene. And so in 1984, scientists called Peter Jennings had this idea, well, maybe we could modify rice so that it did put beta carotene into the brain and could give it a sort of a yellowish color as a result of that. And then this would help solve the vitamin A deficiency problem. And that became a reality in 1999, thanks to a couple of scientists, one in Germany, one in Switzerland, Peter Bayer and Inga Petrikis. And so they made what they call golden rice, because the rice now has this yellow color. And normally, if it had not been a GMO, then it would have been out in the field, people would have been improving it, they would have figured out how to grow it within a few years. But in fact, it wasn't until last year that it got official permission to be grown commercially in the Philippines. And so at the moment, there's only one country that actually is able to produce it legally, with a full license to produce it, and that's in the Philippines. So, here's 23 years later with a lot of children. I mean, literally millions of children have gone blind or died because of the failure to get enough vitamin A, and all because of the anti-GMO groups. Greenpeace in particular, but many others, fought very heavily to try to stop golden rice from being produced. And the main reason, of course, is that because it's essentially a pharmaceutical, it saves lives because of the vitamin A. And, it's very difficult to be against something that saves lives. And so, for instance, all of the diabetics who take insulin, they take human insulin. But that's not obtained from humans. It's actually a GMO that produces human insulin. People are quite happy to inject that into themselves, and you don't hear Greenpeace complaining about that. But again, because it's a pharmaceutical. It's like the messenger RNA vaccines, which are made via modern bioengineering techniques. You don't hear Greenpeace complaining about that because it's a GMO, and so we shouldn't be putting it in our bodies. So, these politics and raising money gets in the way of an awful lot of good things in this world.
Mm-hmm.